For many of us, our homes are a treasure chest of fond and happy memories. Eating breakfast together on Saturday mornings, or reading bedtime stories to our children, playing board games, or curling up on the couch and watching our favorite TV shows. What most of us don't know is that more than 360,000 of our Canadian children witness or experience family violence every year. From those 360,000 children, between 50 to 70,000 are right from our own neighborhoods here in British Columbia. The RCMP and family violence research agree that children who see their mothers being abused suffer the same consequences as if they were being abused themselves. That means thousands of kids, many of whom may be in your children's or grandchildren's classrooms, are victims of a form of child abuse.
I grew up in a house where I watched my dad abuse my mom every single day, wondering why, hoping for it to end. As the oldest of 4 kids, the first thing that came to my mind was, at such a young age, why my mom would stay and then have had the 4 of us, for us to witness and be a part of this abuse every single day. The way that he abused her, he pushed her body to points where most people would have succumbed to their injuries, and she never did. So as a child, I felt like the greatest disappointment for me at that time, being in this abusive family, was why my mom just wouldn't just die, and then maybe we wouldn't have these problems anymore. To be quite honest, I felt this way until the day that my mom helped us escape from this abusive situation. I felt it to that very day. I thought that it would solve everything. I thought that it would get better. My dad would stop being angry. I knew that pleasing him meant just being quiet, not being a normal, loud child, because it could possibly set off a trigger and anger him even more. I didn't know why we were being put in the car. I didn't know where we were going. I just remember looking out the window on either side, dark road. It seemed like a pointless, aimless drive. Like we were just in the car. I just remember my dad had a firm grip, like he was holding her arm. And I didn't know if she was trying to maybe escape. That, I just remember seeing her arm just very tense. And we pulled up to the water. And I remember looking to my right and just thinking, okay, so we're not at the beach to have fun, and it's almost the middle of the night. I think she's gonna go now. And he asked her to say goodbye to all of us. So she turned and she said her goodbyes. Under her breath said much more to us in love. But she was ready to let us go that day. And I was ready to let her go. I felt like that was the best thing at that time. And she got out of the car and she just started walking. My dad was right beside her. He had a good firm grip on her, and they walked into the darkness. I think that I can safely say that I was just trying to be so strong and make it seem to my siblings this is what needed to be done. Because if I could hold it together and act like I didn't care, that this might be the last time we ever see her again alive, this was going to be a good thing for everybody. I was trying to set that at that young age, that example, I guess, for my siblings. There was no noise. I don't remember anybody talking or crying or anything like that. It was just quiet and dark and just kind of waiting. We were waiting to see who was coming back to the car.
Women and children need people who will stand with them, protect them, rally around them, people to be there as they seek comfort and stability and look for the freedom they deserve. This is where our work at Kate Booth begins. Children need to be loved by parents and guardians who work tirelessly to protect them and raise them with a sense of stability, assuring them that home will always be a safe place where they are cherished and respected. At Kate Booth House, we dedicate our work to ensuring that women and children are afforded the freedom they deserve, safe from harm. We are first responders, offering a place of refuge for moms and children who are seeking to escape from unsafe home environments. Kate Booth House looks after basic human needs like food and shelter so that they can focus on the courageous task of rebuilding their lives. Kate Booth House has been serving both the greater Vancouver area and the whole province for the last 30 years because we believe that violence against women and children cannot be ignored. These statistics are real and disturbing. 3 out of 5 children in school classrooms are witnessing assaults on their mothers at home. 67% of children who are in homes of violence are under the age of 10, 25% of which are between the ages of 1 to 3. Infants in particular experience trauma symptoms as a result of the negative effects of violence on their mothers.
So, he didn't win, right, in killing her. And so it's like being in the moment as a child, all we heard him say is how he wanted to kill her. And so we spent some time jumping from a few different women's shelters and transition homes. I think primarily just because my dad kept finding us. And after a few different places, we ended up finding residence at Kate Booth House. The first few nights were a little rough. You're trying to figure out if this is going to be something permanent. It took a few days to start to feel comfortable at Kate Booth House just because we weren't sure if we were going to be uprooted again and sent somewhere else. But with every day that passed, it was safer, but it started to feel like a home for us. It started to feel like it wasn't just a house. Everywhere else we'd ever lived was just a house. This was home. This was where we could just actually be kids. That was the first time in my entire life that I had ever watched a Disney movie. And I would sit on this big couch and there was no fear that that was wrong. They changed our lives for what it needed to be. They made us children again, and they made my mom a mom to children again instead of just little people who were considered to be victims. They really tried to express love in different forms. If I had a goal of what I want to achieve, my number one thing would be that no child should have to suffer silently. No child should be an innocent victim of child abuse or a domestic violence situation. I know, speaking from my facts, that I was expressing fear and I was expressing the need for help and very, very loud, silent cries. I couldn't say it. Everything I was doing was silent, but they were so loud because it was inside my head and in my heart that no one was helping. Moving forward, today, she's my best friend and she has to live with 20 phone calls a day from me, and I'm so thankful for her, and I'm so thankful that she didn't give up. And I'm so thankful that that wish that was in my heart that she would die never came true. I am so thankful for that today because it was not meant to be. And here she is today, just changing the world.